For more on the principle of patriots governing Hong Kong, let's talk to Mr. Lawrence Ma. He's the director of the China Law Society and chairman of the Hong Kong Legal Exchange Foundation. Mr. Ma, welcome to our special coverage. As our reporter just said, the Zhang Yesui, the spokesperson of this year's MPC, actually didn't give much information or details about the draft decision on the Hong Kong patriots governing Hong Kong or the reform on the electoral system there. But you were at the meeting where officials solicited opinions on the concept of patriots governing Hong Kong. Was there any consensus on how to on what the loopholes of the electoral systems in Hong Kong are and how to fill them in?
I think one of the most consensus that people have reached at the meeting is that there has been a agreement that all district councils, all people who are holding offices, public offices, are exercising public power, and they have to be patriots. And district councillors, they hold the public power in electing the chief executive. So district councillors they are a sector, or they are people who are one of those chief executive election committee members. So they would, if they are district councillors by virtue of their position would be able to elect the chief executive. So by this power of electing the chief executive is a public power, and the consensus is that district councillors has to be patriots too. That was the consensus, and the loophole was at the last district council election. The loophole within the election system was exploited by separatist politicians to seize office, and their plan was to elect a puppet beholden to foreign powers to be the next chief executive.
Right, and
now that once this patriotism requirement is put in place, these district councillors will lose the power to elect the chief executive.
Okay, the whole reform has been very clearly explained by Mr. Ma, but according to our observation, actually, the key message of Beijing of releasing this concept is to tell the Hong Kong people to correctly understand the relationship of the central government and Hong Kong, and that relationship has never been or has not been fully explained or discussed in Hong Kong society. Do you share this observation?
I'm not sure which observation you talk about, because are you talking about patriotism? That the patriotism
no, the relations, the correct relations between Hong Kong and central government. It seems that in Hong Kong society, this relationship has not been fully explained or discussed.
The relationship between you mean the power of the central government and the power of the special administrative region. The relationship between these two governments has not been explained. Is that the question?
Right, yes.
Well, yes, because election is virtually part of Hong Kong law, but people don't understand is that the power to determine, well, the chief executive is elected by has to go through a chief executive election candidate has to go through a pre-selection process, and that process is determined by a nomination committee. So a candidate has to go through, get enough votes in the nominating committee to be nominated, well, validly nominated to stand for an election as the chief executive candidate. So the central government has the power to determine the composition of this election or selection committee. And it is this time it is the consensus that we just talked about, is that the district councillors within this election committee would have to be removed, and have those places would have to be replaced by, for example, CPPCC members.
And some Hong Kong people, as far